The day began with a flurry of activity at the spaceport. A large crowd gathered, all eyes on the sky as the first Federation delegation ship came into view. The sleek silver spacecraft descended gracefully, landing smoothly on the designated landing pad. It was a sight to behold, with its shining surface reflecting the sunlight and the crowd's eager faces. As the spacecraft's doors opened, a small group of alien diplomats stepped out. They were dressed in elegant robes adorned with intricate patterns, their appearance both exotic and majestic. The lead delegate, a tall figure with a calm demeanor, scanned the crowd with a mix of curiosity and skepticism. The Federation had heard mixed reviews about humanity, and many were not sure what to expect from this relatively young and inexperienced species. Human representatives, led by the Earth's top diplomat, greeted the Federation delegation warmly. They extended their hands in a universal gesture of friendship and offered gifts from Earth, a collection of artifacts, including beautiful artwork and samples of Earth's diverse cultures. The human diplomat spoke with enthusiasm, highlighting Earth's rich history and cultural heritage. The Federation delegates accepted the gifts politely but remained guarded. The skepticism about human capabilities was deeply ingrained in their minds. They had heard stories about humanity's past conflicts and were unsure if Earth's reputation could change. The first meetings took place in a grand hall designed to impress. It was decorated with symbols of peace and unity, and the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Humans had gone to great lengths to ensure that everything was perfect, from the food to the decor, to demonstrate their commitment to diplomacy. During the initial discussions, humans tried their best to showcase their diplomatic skills. They spoke about their efforts to overcome past conflicts and their vision for a peaceful future. Despite their best efforts, the meetings were not without hiccups. There were several moments of confusion and misunderstanding as the delegates struggled to grasp each other's customs and communication styles. One particular incident stood out. A human representative, trying to convey goodwill, used a gesture that was meant to be friendly but was misinterpreted by the alien delegates. The alien delegates seemed puzzled, and a brief, awkward silence followed. The human diplomat quickly tried to correct the misunderstanding, but the moment had already caused a ripple of doubt. Despite these setbacks, the human representatives remained optimistic. They knew that first impressions were crucial, but they also understood that true diplomacy required patience and persistence. They continued to engage with the alien delegates, listening carefully and responding with sincerity. As the first day of meetings came to a close, the Federation delegates returned to their ship, still unsure about what to make of their human hosts. The skepticism remained, but there was also a hint of curiosity. The delegates were not entirely convinced that humans were the diplomatic powerhouses they claimed to be, but they were open to seeing more. The human team, on the other hand, was determined to prove themselves. They knew that the path to acceptance would be challenging, but they were committed to showing that humanity could be more than the sum of its past. As they prepared for the next round of meetings, they focused on learning from their mistakes and refining their approach. The arrival of the Federation delegates had been a surprise, and the initial encounters had been a roller coaster of emotions. But the real test of humanity's diplomatic skills was only just beginning. As the days went by, both sides would have to navigate a complex landscape of expectations, misunderstandings, and opportunities. The stage was set for a new chapter in human history, one where diplomacy and perseverance would determine the future of Earth's place in the galaxy. The surprising arrival of the Federation delegates was just the beginning of a journey that would challenge both humans and aliens to rethink their perceptions and find common ground. After the initial somewhat shaky first day of meetings, the Federation delegates were eager to see if humans could truly prove their diplomatic skills. They had set up a series of challenges designed to test humanity's ability to handle complex situations. The tests were meant to be tough, but they were also an opportunity for humans to demonstrate their potential. The first challenge was a negotiation exercise. The delegates presented a scenario where two fictional alien species, the Lurians and the Vexons, were in conflict over a shared resource. The task was to find a peaceful resolution to their dispute. The human team, led by diplomat Sarah Collins, approached the challenge with careful preparation. Sarah and her team began by studying the details of the conflict. They reviewed the history and grievances of both species, trying to understand their perspectives. They even consulted experts and used simulations to predict possible outcomes. Armed with this knowledge, they set up a meeting with the representatives of the Lurians and Vexans. The negotiation room was tense as the two species argued their points. The Lurians were passionate and felt they had been wronged, while the Vexans were defensive and insisted they were in the right. Sarah, along with her team, listened carefully to both sides, taking notes and asking clarifying questions. Her calm demeanor and thoughtful questions helped to ease some of the initial hostility. After several hours of discussion, Sarah proposed a compromise. She suggested that the Lurians and Vexans form a joint committee to manage the resource, with each side having equal say. This approach would allow both species to benefit while ensuring fair distribution. The solution was not perfect, but it was a step towards peace. Both sides agreed to give it a try, and the Federation delegates were impressed by the humans' ability to handle such a delicate situation. The second challenge was a cultural exchange. The Federation delegates wanted to see how well humans could understand and appreciate different cultures. They set up a series of activities where humans would interact with alien cultural artifacts, food, and traditions. The goal was to see if humans could navigate and respect these new experiences. Sarah's team took the challenge seriously. They learned about the alien cultures, tried their best to respect customs, and participated actively in the activities. They tasted strange foods, joined in alien dances, and even dressed in traditional outfits from various cultures. Their genuine curiosity and effort to engage with the alien cultures were well received. The Federation delegates noticed how the humans were making an effort to connect on a deeper level, not just performing a superficial show. The final challenge was a crisis management simulation. The Federation created a scenario where a sudden, unforeseen disaster threatened the stability of a space colony. The human team had to come up with a plan to manage the crisis and ensure the safety of the colonists. The simulation was intense, with time constraints and high stakes. Sarah and her team quickly mobilized. They coordinated with experts, gathered resources, and developed a comprehensive response plan. They communicated clearly, made quick decisions, and showed excellent teamwork. Their plan was effective, and they managed to stabilize the situation in the simulation. The Federation delegates were impressed by their quick thinking and ability to handle pressure. As the challenges came to an end, the Federation delegates gathered to discuss their impressions. They had seen firsthand that humans were not only capable of handling difficult situations, but also approached them with genuine empathy and creativity. The initial skepticism was starting to fade, replaced by a growing respect for the human team's abilities. Sarah and her team felt a sense of accomplishment. They had managed to show the Federation that humanity was more than just a young and inexperienced species. They had proven that Earth had the potential to be a valuable diplomatic partner in the galaxy. The path to full acceptance was still long, but the successful completion of the challenges was a significant step forward. The Federation delegates left with a newfound appreciation for humans, and the stage was set for the next phase of their diplomatic journey. Humans had begun to carve out their place in the galaxy, proving that they were more than capable of handling the complex and sometimes challenging world of interstellar diplomacy. Just as Earth and the Federation were beginning to understand each other better, a crisis erupted that threatened to test humanity's diplomatic skills like never before. The peaceful atmosphere was shattered when news arrived of a serious conflict between two alien species, the Dzarians and the Kraliks. The Dzarians and Kraliks had been engaged in a bitter dispute over a vital trade route that ran through their shared space. Tensions were escalating quickly, and the situation was on the brink of a full-scale war. The Federation, still unsure of humanity's ability to handle such a high-stakes crisis, called upon the human diplomats for help. Sarah Collins and her team were given the daunting task of mediating the conflict. The pressure was immense. The fate of not just the Dzarians and Kraliks, but potentially the entire galaxy, rested on their shoulders. Sarah and her team set to work immediately. They began by gathering as much information as possible about the conflict. They reviewed detailed reports, spoke with experts, and even contacted intermediaries who had been involved in previous negotiations with the Dzarians and Kraliks. Understanding the history and the underlying issues was crucial. The first step was to arrange a meeting with representatives from both sides. The venue was a neutral space station located between the territories of the Xarians and Krelix. The space station was equipped with advanced communication tools and was designed to facilitate peace talks. Sarah and her team prepared meticulously for the meeting, ensuring that all possible issues were addressed and that both sides felt equally respected. When the day of the meeting arrived, the atmosphere was tense. The Xarians and Krelix arrived with their entourages, each side looking defiant and resolute. The room was filled with a palpable sense of hostility. The Xarians, with their sharp, angular features and fierce demeanor, clashed with the Krelix, who were known for their bulky, intimidating presence and gruff voices. Sarah opened the meeting with a sincere attempt to establish common ground. She spoke about the importance of peace and cooperation, emphasizing how both species had much to gain from resolving their differences. However, the talks quickly ran into trouble. Both sides accused each other of aggression and dishonesty. The accusations were heated, and it seemed like the meeting might fall apart. Determined to make progress, Sarah suggested a break. During this time, she and her team worked behind the scenes to meet with the key representatives from both sides individually. They listened to their concerns and tried to identify any potential areas of compromise. Sarah found that while the Xarians were focused on maintaining control over the trade route, the Krelix were equally adamant about securing their access to essential resources. After the break, Sarah proposed a new approach. Instead of focusing on the trade route itself, she suggested negotiating a joint management plan for the resources that both sides depended on. Her proposal involved creating a shared oversight committee where representatives from both species would have equal say in decision-making. The committee would oversee the trade route and ensure fair distribution of resources. The idea was met with mixed reactions. The Saurians were wary of giving up control, while the Krelix were concerned about the feasibility of such a plan. Sarah and her team facilitated a series of smaller discussions to address the specific concerns of both sides. They worked tirelessly to build trust and find a middle ground that would be acceptable to everyone involved. Days of intense negotiations followed. There were moments when it seemed like the peace talks might collapse, but Sarah's perseverance and diplomatic skills kept the process moving forward. Slowly but surely, both sides began to see the value in the proposed compromise. In the end, an agreement was reached. The Xarians and Krelix agreed to the joint management plan and established the oversight committee. The immediate threat of war was averted, and the trade route was secured for the benefit of both species. The successful resolution of the crisis was a significant achievement for Sarah and her team. As the conflict subsided, the Federation delegates watched with admiration. They saw that humans had not only managed to handle a severe crisis, but had done so with creativity, determination, and empathy. The diplomatic success of the human team proved that Earth was indeed capable of playing a crucial role in maintaining peace and resolving conflicts in the galaxy. The resolution of the crisis between the Xarians and the Krelix was a major turning point. The Federation delegates, who had initially been doubtful of humanity's diplomatic abilities, began to see humans in a new light. The successful mediation not only saved two species from war, but also demonstrated the unique and effective approach that humans brought to diplomacy. As the news of the successful peace talks spread, the atmosphere around the Federation's headquarters changed. The delegates, who had been skeptical and reserved, were now more open and curious about Earth. The success story of the human diplomats was the talk of the galaxy. Sarah Collins and her team were now viewed with newfound respect. They were invited to several meetings with high-ranking Federation officials who wanted to hear about their experiences and insights. The humans were no longer just guests. They were becoming valuable partners in the galactic community. One of the most significant changes came from the lead Federation delegate, Ambassador Zorak. Zorak had been the most critical of humanity's capabilities. His skepticism was rooted in the Federation's long history of dealing with numerous species, many of whom had not lived up to their promises. But after witnessing the human team's handling of the Xarian Krelix crisis, Zorak's views began to shift. In a meeting with Sarah, Zorak admitted that he had been wrong about humans. He expressed his admiration for their diplomatic skills and resilience. He spoke about how the humans' approach had not only resolved a critical conflict, but also offered new insights into managing complex negotiations. Zorak's change of heart was significant and symbolized the broader shift in perception among the Federation. The Federation started to actively seek human input on various matters. They involved Sarah and her team in discussions about future diplomatic strategies and even consulted them on handling other potential conflicts. Humans were no longer seen as inexperienced newcomers, but as valuable contributors with fresh perspectives. Earth's reputation began to change as well. The story of the human diplomat's success became a prominent example of effective conflict resolution. Many species in the galaxy who had previously been wary of humans started to view Earth with respect and interest. The media on Earth reported on the growing positive reception, boosting national pride and encouraging further diplomatic engagement. The newfound respect was not without its challenges. The human team had to navigate the complexities of galactic politics while maintaining their focus on genuine diplomacy. They faced pressure to live up to their newfound reputation and continued to work hard to build on their success. The Federation's interest in Earth also meant that there were new opportunities and responsibilities. One notable event was the Galactic Diplomatic Summit, where representatives from various species gathered to discuss important issues and set new policies. Sarah and her team were invited as special guests, a recognition of their role in recent diplomatic successes. At the summit, they were able to network with other species and share their experiences, further solidifying Earth's position as a respected diplomatic partner. Despite the progress, there were still underlying tensions. Some factions within the Federation remained cautious and questioned whether the human success was a fluke. They were concerned that humans might not be able to handle future challenges. Sarah and her team were aware of these concerns and worked tirelessly to demonstrate their ongoing commitment to effective diplomacy. In private meetings, the human diplomats continued to build relationships and address concerns. They focused on maintaining transparency and fostering trust with their counterparts. Their dedication to these principles helped to strengthen the bonds between Earth and the Federation. The story of the Xarian Krelix crisis had not only changed the views of the Federation, but also inspired other species to reconsider their perceptions of humanity. The successful resolution showed that humans were capable of contributing positively to galactic diplomacy, and the Federation's shift in attitude marked the beginning of a new era of cooperation. As Earth and the Federation continued to build their relationship, the legacy of the human diplomat's success became a powerful symbol of the potential for positive change in the galaxy. The respect and trust earned through their efforts set the stage for a future where humanity would play a crucial role in shaping interstellar relations and fostering peace across the cosmos. With the successful resolution of the Xarian Krelix crisis, Earth and its diplomats had not only earned the respect of the Galactic Federation, but had also begun to forge a new path for humanity in the cosmos. The once skeptical delegates were now enthusiastic about working with humans, and the galaxy watched with interest as Earth took its place among the stars. The aftermath of the crisis saw a series of new developments. The Federation, impressed by the human diplomats' skills, invited them to participate in more high-level discussions and decision-making processes. Sarah Collins and her team were now involved in drafting new interstellar treaties and creating policies that would affect many species. Their opinions were valued, and their insights were sought after for addressing complex issues. Earth's role in the galactic community grew steadily. The successful mediation had not only improved diplomatic relations, but had also paved the way for increased trade and cooperation. Other species, inspired by humanity's ability to handle conflicts, began to seek partnerships and agreements with Earth. Earth became known as a beacon of hope and a model for effective diplomacy. One of the most significant changes was the establishment of a joint Earth Federation Council. This council was designed to address galactic issues and foster collaboration between Earth and other species. The council included representatives from various worlds, and Sarah was appointed as one of the human delegates. It was a prestigious role that came with great responsibility. The council's first major project was the development of a new peacekeeping force, composed of members from multiple species, including humans. The goal was to ensure that conflicts could be managed and resolved before they escalated into violence. The human-led initiative was hailed as a groundbreaking step toward maintaining peace across the galaxy. As Earth became more integrated into the galactic community, the opportunities for collaboration and innovation expanded. Scientists, engineers, and researchers from Earth worked alongside their counterparts from other species on joint projects. They shared knowledge and technology, leading to advancements that benefited everyone. The exchange of ideas and expertise fostered a spirit of unity and progress. The positive change was also reflected in Earth's own society. The successful diplomacy had sparked a sense of pride and curiosity among Earth's citizens. More people were inspired to pursue careers in diplomacy, science, and space exploration. The dream of becoming a galactic citizen was no longer a distant fantasy, but a tangible reality. The Federation also made efforts to improve cultural exchange. Special programs were set up to promote understanding and appreciation of different species' traditions and customs. Earth hosted galactic cultural festivals where species from across the galaxy could come together and celebrate their diversity. These festivals became popular events, fostering goodwill and friendships. Despite the progress, challenges remained. The galaxy was a vast and complex place, and new issues arose that needed to be addressed. The human diplomats continued to work hard, balancing their responsibilities and maintaining the trust they had earned. They faced new conflicts and opportunities with the same dedication and creativity that had brought them success in the past. Looking back, the journey from Earth's first tentative steps into the galactic community to its role as a respected partner was nothing short of remarkable. The story of how humans proved their diplomatic worth and earned their place in the stars became a powerful testament to the potential of perseverance and cooperation. The future was bright, and the possibilities seemed endless. Earth was no longer an isolated world, but a key player in the galactic stage. The bonds that had been forged through diplomacy and mutual respect opened the door to new adventures and collaborations. Humanity's place in the galaxy was secure, and the path forward was filled with promise and opportunity. As the council met to discuss future projects and goals, Sarah and her team looked out at the stars with a sense of accomplishment and optimism. They knew that the journey was far from over, but the foundation had been laid for a future where Earth and its allies could work together to build a better galaxy. The bright future that lay ahead was a testament to the power of diplomacy and the potential of humanity.